Well, hello and welcome back to Teal House Farm. Today I have a date with destiny. So we have had dairy goats for 4 years now, and I have actually never milked them. That's not my job here on the farm. I do all the inside stuff, all the cooking. I also do all of the gardening, and Sam does all the animal husbandry type stuff for us. But with him getting ready to go into clinicals for nursing school, meaning he's going to be needing to leave really early and get back really late, I am needing to learn how to milk for the days that he cannot do it. So what do we have?
What do we, like tools wise?
Yeah, what tools do we need?
You can get really fancy with it if you'd like, but I just have a rag to clean the udders, like a soapy rag. A lot of people use Castile soap. There's essential oils you can put in there too if you'd like. This is my, what you call, strip cup. Just put the first few squirts of milk in here just to make sure it's not clumpy or nasty before you ruin a whole pail. And then I have my pail.
And
that's pretty much it.
And your milk stand?
And my milk stand.
Which you made yourself?
Yep.
Do we have a video on you making this, or maybe?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, I'll link that below. You made this he made this himself in like a day, maybe?
Yeah. So,
okay. That is not the goat we are milking, but that is the goat we are milking. This is Uhura, named, the people that we got her from named all their goats after Star Trek characters that year. So this is Lieutenant Uhura.
half a scoop of feed in here.
So we have, is this sweet feed? Is that what that is?
It's just like an all-around goat feed. It's probably a lot like a sweet feed.
That'll keep her entertained while she's being milked.
Okay, good.
Okay. Just like that?
Yep.
Okay.
All right, I apologize. She is kind of on the thin side, and we're trying to get her back onto a healthier weight, but slowly but surely. All right, so all I do first is to wash the udder. Sometimes it's really dirty.
And this is your soapy rag?
Yeah, soapy rag. When you wash the udders or whenever you handle the udders, you don't want to be too gentle because otherwise they'll just feel like you're tickling them. So you want to make sure and like have a firm grasp when you're doing all that stuff to make sure. Otherwise she will kick you because she won't like that. So that's my soapy rag. Normally I have a clean or a dry rag too, but oh, good.
You got your boots on?
Now, she always kicks at me here at the beginning on this side of the udder. I don't know why, but she does every single boarding. So I just squirt a little bit in here. So there's no clumps or anything in there, so that side looks good. Same with this side. I think we should be pretty good. It's just like a safety thing.
And if it was weird looking, you would just milk her out and just dump it.
Toss it, yeah. Let's get her started. This side tends to leak a lot for whatever reason. Away you go. Now, starting out, if you want to, you could just do like one side with one hand. If you feel like, you know, your left hand's really bad at it, you could just do the one side at first.
How long does it take you to milk her?
Under 10 minutes, the whole thing.
And that's about 3/4 of a gallon of milk?
Yeah, she's probably closer to a half gallon now, I'd say.
Yeah. Her baby is 2 months. Has it been 2 months since she had babies?
Mom, how do I close the door? Mom, can you close the door and close?
Oh, it's not.
So the other one points the other way, I feel like.
Yeah, so what you'll have to do, if you want to do too, is put the milk bucket this way, and you might have to re-grip with this hand to shoot it off the other way. You might roll your sleeve up a little so you don't... There you go. You can kind of position her udder a little bit so that it sprays more towards the middle, and then when you want to do two, you'll be able to. But she's super easy goat to milk out because her the orifice on her teat is so wide open.
How do
you
you
don't
know
have to
when
squeeze.
it's done?
It'll look like an empty bag, like literally like an empty sack down there. Her udder will, at the bottom of the udder,
Okay.
her teat will. It'll look like a, I don't know, like a prune or something, like all dried up.
Just spray melt it.
That's how you can get to do both of them. Is you'll take the top on both sides and kind of point them towards the center, so you can just. Let's go. What are you doing? So Laura felt like she was getting like a really weak stream, kind of like that, when she was pinching. So I told her, I pinch like towards here. I don't pinch out here up at the top. You pinch right here to really kind of seal it off. So that's kind of where you aim for.
And you said you don't really move your thumb ever. It's the lower fingers that you release.
Yeah, I don't. It's just my lower fingers that kind of reset.
I'm gonna get from the other side.
So I leave my thumb kind of where it is, keep her udder like in the crook of my. So I just move the back side here. She has a really big udder though. It's like, or teats. It's really easy to milk her.
Yeah, if your goat's udders or teats are not that big, it's not necessarily unusual because our other Nubians did not have teats that large.
If she's gonna kick, she'll start getting kind of fidgety. You might see her like reset her back feet. It's kind of like a warning, like, hey, I'm kind of getting done with my
I think I kind of
grain here. We can give her a little more grain this morning. But when she's getting ready to kick though,
That looks
she'll start
better, yeah.
wiggling.
better strain. That makes more sense to me.
There you go.
I get it. And I can feel it. I can feel the filling up with milk. Yeah. And I know a lot of people, sometimes there's negative feelings about keeping or taking milk from a goat, but this is nice for her. Like, she's getting special feed, and this feels really good, probably. Like, I know what it feels like when the baby hasn't eaten in a while. Like, this is like a relief.
Oh, she screams at me if I'm not out here in time to milk her when I should.
So we give her a nice, she's got a nice safe place to live, friends, good food, and in exchange we get some milk.
Normally, a lot of times too, like I'm just milking into this bucket because I have a lot of experience with this goat and this bucket. But if you're new to milking, what you might want to do is milk into like a smaller jar container and then dump it into your big milk bucket. That way, if she does kick it over, it's just a little bit that's spilled and not your whole milk bucket, if that makes sense. We're on side 2.
Having a harder, it's weird doing it. My left hand is not strong.
You could do it with your right hand. Maybe you can switch sides if you want. Your right hand's closer.
Yeah.
You had a little milk accident.
I did. She kicked it. She's getting frustrated with me, but having trouble on this side.
I usually, if I'm gonna hold the bucket, I just hold. There you go. Yeah, and you can just slide it out of the way without the handle.
Sorry, I'm trying. Okay.
I was making it uncomfortable for her.
She's done with my milking technique. We're gonna get her off the stand here.
It would be good for her to learn patience.
Yeah. You had enough of my attempts? Okay, stay out of the way.
All right.
Is this our milk now?
Yep, that's our milk.
I'm gonna drink it today.
Well, we'll cool it down first, but then yeah.
All right, let's go.
All right, so takeaways here. It's a lot harder. Here, I'll hold that. I don't want you to fall down. It's a lot harder to do it with the left than the right if you're right-handed.
So bad.
Yeah, I know. And on the left side, I was tugging I was tugging too much. Come on, Ivy. And so that's why she was getting a little antsy looking back. So your hand has to stay basically in the same position. You don't pull up and down on the udder. So I need to work on that. We'll come back. I'm going to try to do it tomorrow as well, with Sam kind of watching. And I think if I can kind of do it every day for a week, I think I'll be able to be pretty good at it. But I think for overall first milk lesson, it went pretty well. Just real quick, I'm going to show you how we process the milk. This I know how to do because I do this every day inside. And I'll show you some of the things that we do with our fresh goat milk here on the farm. All right, this is Micah. Hello. And Micah is going to show you how we process the milk to make it safe. Well, it's already pretty safe, but we're going to get some of that junk out of there, the hair and stuff. So we need quart jars, clean quart jars. There's 1 and 2.
She usually makes enough milk. We need 2 jars.
Yeah. It makes a little more than half a gallon. Usually what I do is I save a half a gallon, and the little bit that's left can go to the chickens or the cats or whatever wants them. We have a 3-piece strainer. Hey, you're so loud. We have a 3-piece strainer, so stainless steel strainer, and it's got a metal filter and a ring, but it needs a paper filter as well.
Yep. So to do this, we just, sometimes they'll put 2, but I'm going to use 1. This keeps all of the gunk out of the milk that could make it
gross.
Yeah, gross. We don't want. I already get a lot of dog hair in my soup.
Dog hair in your soup?
Everything.
Well, it's because Lexi's got a lot of hair.
Yeah.
No,
But
don't do that, Mom.
keeps it so it shouldn't be like this. There might be a little gunk left, but hopefully not a lot. And it keeps the milk will drain out.
Well, there shouldn't be any
Yeah.
gunk. If you have your filter on there straight, which sometimes can be a little tricky, which looks like Micah did a good job, it'll filter all of the hair out.
Sometimes it's a little slow, but it doesn't matter. So you just thank you. Today it's fast.
Well, it actually, you'll watch, it'll slow down the more milk we do because the filter get more and more stuff in the way. So when you start, it's pretty fast.
It's filling out pretty fast though. And then once it drains, maybe at least halfway or less, we'll pour more in.
There we go.
The more milk is coming out, Mommy.
Okay, while Micah works on that, I'm going to show you some of the things we do with our goat's milk. So the kids actually don't really drink goat's milk straight. Ivy will. But we use it for making a lot of things. Yeah, turn it off. Just open it. So I make homemade yogurt with the goat's milk, and then we put homemade jam on the bottom, and this makes like a yogurt cup for the kids that they can put in their lunch boxes or have for a snack. It's like a fruit on the bottom yogurt. I make the yogurt in 1 gallon or 2 gallon batches using mason jars, quart mason jars, and then we can either just leave it like this and I use it for cooking or snacking, or we make those little fruit on the bottom cups that the kids really like. If you want to know how I make the yogurt, I'll link a video below. The video below shows me doing it with cow's milk. You can also do it the same exact recipe. You can do it that way with powdered milk. It works great. It also works great with the goat's milk. Our favorite way right now is to do a half gallon of goat's milk and a half gallon of cow's milk. It makes a super thick, like Greek yogurt without having to do any straining. And the only thing you need is a big pot, some quart mason jars, and your oven to make the yogurt. It's so easy. The other thing we like to do with the goat's milk is make cheese. This is a farmer's cheese, which is basically just the goat's milk with a little bit of vinegar. It separates out the curds. I flavored this one with some basil and some salt and pepper, and I've been using it in my scrambled eggs, and also just with some cut up tomatoes. It's really delicious. Super easy. It takes a gallon of milk to make this much cheese. So 2 days worth of milking, and all you get is this much cheese, which we'll go through really quickly. So it's easy to feel like you get overwhelmed with the amount of milk, but if you're making things like yogurt or cheese, it goes so fast. Especially with 6 kids, we aren't really even drinking the milk and we're going through it. Watch out, beep beep. The girls and I also really like using the milk to make like hot steamers, which is hot milk with some vanilla in it. I use it like creamer in my coffee because goat milk has a high fat content. It's really creamy. So it goes, we use it, and I cook with it too, instead of cow's milk. The only thing we use cow's milk for is for drinking with breakfast or putting in our cereal. Again, I don't mind the goat's milk. Some of the kids notice the flavor difference. It does have a different taste, and they don't like drinking it straight, but it's still very good for you, and I love using it for what I showed you with, and also just substituting it for any baking recipe. It works just like the cow's milk. You can't tell a difference. So, yeah. All right, let's see here. I think Micah is done. That's okay. Mommy was milking. Probably didn't do as good as jar. And we're going to get almost exactly a half gallon. So what do we do next to finish this off?
Just split it up.
Put the lids on.
And then date them.
And why do we date them?
So we know how old they are and we don't drink rotten milk.
That's exactly why we date them.
4 dash.
Okay, so some of the questions, I guess, that you probably are wondering is, one, can I make ice cream or butter with goat's milk? Yes, you can. You probably are going to need a cream separator, which is very expensive. A goat milk cream separator is something like $300 or $400. Goat's milk, it does settle a little bit, but does not separate the way that cow's milk does. So you can't just scrape enough cream off the top to be able to make ice cream or butter. Now you can make frozen milk, goat's milk, like ice cream. It's not creamy like ice cream. It is pretty good though. You just would have to know it's got a very different texture and it's not as creamy as ice cream. Hello, little goats. The goat, so our goat, we have a Nubian. We can milk her 9 to 10 months out of the year, and then she has to be dried off before she has the next set of twins, if you're wanting them to have babies every year. We usually milk about 6 to 7 months and then dry her off, because milking is a huge time commitment. It really impacts your daily life, and when you have a lot of little kids and a lot of things that you would like to do in certain seasons of life, having a milk goat can kind of tie you down. So sometimes we wean her off a little earlier so that around the holidays and things we can travel without it being as big of an issue. Finding somebody to come feed a goat or setting them up to be good for a couple days isn't a huge deal. Leaving and finding somebody to milk your goat is a really big deal. So I think that's all. Thanks for joining us for my first milking lesson. I'm going to keep working on this, and maybe in a couple weeks when I'm super good, you can see a shot of me milking the goat, doing a really good job. We will see you all soon. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.